everybody, this is Miss Weatherly. I'm so glad you found my lesson. This is my first lesson for remote learning. You will see here that it says that this lesson is for the week of March 30th to April 3rd and or April 6th through April 10th. Okay, so normally I teach one lesson to every class every other week or I teach one lesson every 2 weeks. So during remote learning, your teachers will be posting one lesson from me every 2 weeks. Okay, if they happen to post it early, remember, I will always start the slideshow off by typing in what weeks the lesson is for. Okay, so please don't ever feel like you need to do more work than you should be doing. Okay, it should only be one lesson per 2 weeks. I thought it would be a good idea to have a lesson to review everything we've discussed this year before we move on and talk about more topics. This is how I will be structuring my guidance lessons for remote learning by using Screencast-O-Matic and then uploading them to YouTube. Your teachers will be posting them on your Google Classroom, okay? If I make a mistake at any time during my videos, please forgive me. I'm probably just going to move on, so I don't need to start over. Okay? I want to talk about the links in my videos, okay? So throughout my lesson, there will be videos. In this lesson, it'll be videos that you've already saw or listened to. And in other lessons, they might be new. These cannot be clicked on the YouTube video. You will need to go back to your Google Classroom where your teacher has listed the links so you can go click on them to access the websites or the links. Okay? I hope that the adjustment to break and our school closure has gone well for you. I know that adjustment and this adjustment to remote learning will not be easy at first. We will all get through this together, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask your teacher or ask me. If you ever feel overwhelmed or think that my lessons are too much, please feel free to take a break and come back to them later. I certainly do not want to overwhelm you at this time or with the topics I have to teach you. I want to remind you here that you can access this link. Like I said, it should be in your Google Classroom or linked somewhere for you to access to see every single one of my lessons from this year. Like I said, this slideshow will be a review. It'll only have a couple clips of each lesson, but if you would like to see the full lesson, you can go to my site that's linked on the school webpage on the Counseling Support Services Classroom Counseling page. You will see all the slides from all of my lessons. All right, I think that's it for this slide. Yes, let's move on. I want to let you know that I really miss you all, and I hope that this week's lesson is fun to you. This will not be graded. I just want you to stretch your brain and have some fun. Now, like I said, this is a review lesson. This PowerPoint will go over lessons we've done this year in grades 3rd, 4th, and 5th. If there is a topic that is new to you, that's okay. That means I did not teach it to your class or your grade, or you were absent. Please still review the slide. Now, I want to add something. There are also lessons and topics that I'm going to review on here that I know only a few classes got it. And if I'm not mistaken, there are 10 third, fourth, and fifth classes total. And so I know that some of the topics I will go over, only 2 of those classes out of the 10 have gotten it so far. So some of this will be new to you. I'm going to hold back and refrain from listing who's got what lesson and who's got this lesson already and who hasn't. Okay? If it's new to you, it's new. If it's old, it's old. And please just try to transition well and still review each slide. When you finish the whole PowerPoint, there will be a Google form to take so I can understand what you remember and have learned today. Please make sure you are taking the 3-5 Google form. Also, I'm going to try to limit the videos to 30 minutes, between 30 and 40 minutes, but I'm going to try to do my best to make them short as 30 minutes. Like I said, feel free to pause the video at any time to take a break, or pause the video at any time to review the information further. Emotion regulation. Emotion regulation is not a topic that we have had one lesson on. It has been a topic included in all of my lessons. When we started talking about emotion regulation, we considered the definition of this. I want you to look at the words on the screen now and remember that we have defined this as being in control of your emotions or keeping your feelings in check. Let's get started. Remember, I've said this a few times now, this is all a review, so this will or should look familiar to you. This is our feelings wheel, and I've added it to this slide to remind you all that all feelings are okay. Now, is it okay to scream at your mom or dad or your teacher? Or stomp down the stairs? No. Okay? No, it's not. We need to find appropriate ways to respond to our emotions. Here are 50 examples of appropriate coping tools. Be sure to pick one that is appropriate for the time and the space. Let's continue. This picture should also look familiar to you. We are just continuing on with emotion regulation in this slide, okay? These are the steps that we have discussed in class on how to be in control of our emotions. First, we need to name how we feel. Second, we pick a coping tool or an appropriate way to respond. And third, you might want to consider after using your tool how you feel then. We have considered this picture as a menu that you get to choose from, and we have considered this as the how to be in control of your emotions. Zones of regulation is the curriculum we've used to learn more about emotion regulation. Just like we talked about and defined emotion regulation, we defined zones of regulation. And we found the word regular in regulation. We discussed zones being spaces or categories or groups. And we, like I just said, we considered the word and found the word regular in regulation. So we've discovered that the zones of regulation is a program that considers each zone a color to help us keep our emotions and feelings in check. By doing so, this program provides many coping tool ideas to help us in each zone. To introduce zones to you at first, I showed you these posters. These posters can also be viewed on my website. Take a minute now to review the colors and the tools. If you would like, please pause the video. This is a worksheet that we have completed in class earlier on in the year. We use the feelings wheel and the posters and other resources to write down our most common feelings in each zone and our most commonly used coping tools or favorite coping tools in each My Coping Tools box. Some of you have copied this into your Google Classroom. Some of you only have worked on the hard copy, which is in my box. If you have a copy of this in your Google Classroom, you may want to pause the video now and go find it and review the work you've done. If you don't have it, I would encourage you to go back to this slide, okay, by rewinding your video and review some of the most common feelings you may have in each zone and some of your most commonly used tools in each zone. Also, if you do not have it in your Google Classroom, I will also offer the availability for you to contact me and ask me to send you a copy of your toolbox. I do have them at my remote working location to access and share with you. Let's move on. Like I said, we have been using the Zones of Regulation curriculum. Now, let me remind you, some of you may not, okay, so it might be new, it might be old to you, but this is a lesson that we completed, some of us completed, within the Zones curriculum called Unexpected and Expected Behaviors. We made a list of some unexpected and expected behaviors that may happen at school or at home or wherever you are in the community each day. We then considered how it might make other people feel if we did something unexpected. Okay, so I just read off this second question. I'm going to read this first question now. How does it make you feel, or what zone are you in when someone does something you didn't expect? We worked on this lesson to start building empathy and to start noticing other people's feelings around us. Remember, your actions affect other students and other people's feelings all the time. Remember to consider how your actions could make other people feel. This may be something that I put on the Google form quiz. Remember, I don't know if I've said this yet or not, but the quiz will not be graded, okay? Please just do your best and do not worry about getting a perfect grade on the quiz. Same thing with this slide. I also want to make sure I put that on the quiz. I'm not going to talk extensively about the last slide or this slide because I will talk more about it in the Google form. Some of you, not everybody, has also had this lesson, zones throughout the day. I want you all to start to notice how what zone you are in may change throughout the day. And I want you to try to start noticing and becoming aware of why it changes. Before we end talking about the zones of regulation, I want to end on an encouraging note. If you feel as if this program is not working well for you, I want you to know that it's okay. This is all new to you, okay? This is the first year that you have been working on emotion regulation. If it's not going well, or if it's not perfect yet, that's okay. Don't give up and be patient with yourself. I want to offer a few more suggestions because I'm hearing and seeing and noticing that we do have a long way to go with emotion